remember his name when we pull in this road. We're going to remember his music. Most of all, we're going to remember him for the person that he was. One of the most fantastic people I ever met. And there's so many dignitaries here today, I don't even know where to begin. Huey, Lee, Assemblyman Cahill. We've got Town of Woodstock Supervisor Jeremy Wilbur, Town of Hurley Supervisor Gary Bellows. I thought I saw Loretta Gill out there. Brian Hollander. We've got Bill McKenna. John Dittis. Sheriff Van Blarkham. Under Sheriff Falutico. We've got Congressman Hinchy. I just saw your face.
Don't stop.
Bluzo State Police, Lieutenant Hogan State Police, all of them, thank you. Levon loved you all, really. You all had some sort of a relationship with him on and off, and it was always great. He always spoke very highly of all of you. Maurice, you got to sing with him.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
And to the staff of Levon Helm Studios, all of our friends, the musicians, I always say, Amy, thank you for allowing me to share your dad with you, and I mean that. This is all for him.
All right, Diane.
Hi, everybody. I just want to go over a few things very briefly, very briefly, because we're here for the unveiling, and that's what we really want to do. I've been in the legislature for a long time, and I was also in the local legislative body for a long time. And I have to tell you, there has never been something that we advanced that met with such acclaim, such universal support as this measure to name this road after the great Levon Helm. I can't tell you the number of my colleagues that literally came running to me to become co-sponsors of this legislation. It was one of the most popular pieces of legislation that we passed in Albany this year, and popular and Albany are not two words that go together very well these days. It's important for you to know where the idea came from. One might think it just came down from the heavens after we lost Levon, that it was just a thought we all had, but I have to be honest, there's a guy who works for my campaigns every 2 years, even when I don't work for my campaigns every 2 years, and he called me up and he said, you know, wouldn't it be great if there was some way to acknowledge Levon? And he has a special connection to Levon and to the Midnight Rambles because he works there. It's my brother Patrick. Pat?
Yeah.
Pat is the last of the Cahills to have an association with Levon in the band, going back to my brother Dennis when he and Jeremy tended bar at Sled Hill, and later on when Dennis tended bar at the Bear in Woodstock. And his was the last place that closed every night in Woodstock, and very often when guys were coming back from the road, they didn't quite want to go home early, so that's where they would wind up. On and on over the course of years, the band proved to be a seminal group of musicians, really changing music as we know it. And that's not coming from me, that's coming from other musical greats like Eric Clapton, like I can't even begin to name the people, George Harrison, other people who have just sung the high praises of the band, but in particular of the man who kept the rhythm going, Levon Helm. After the band split up, Levon went on to a terrific career, but that career was centered, and his life was centered here in Woodstock, here between the farm country of Hurley and the music country of Woodstock. Levon Helm made this place his home. And he didn't just do it quietly, he did it by doing what he did best. He played music, he gathered people together for that purpose, and he made a lot of people smile and feel good. I gave a speech on the floor of the assembly, and I don't usually read my speeches on the floor. I don't usually read my speeches at all, as you can tell today, much to your chagrin. But this one I had to write down because I didn't want to miss the key points that I wanted to raise. And you know, I got to tell you, we're limited in time when we introduce a big piece of legislation, and I didn't have enough time to say all the things I wanted to. But I have here today, and I'm going to present to Amy for her family, a copy of the transcript of the introductory comments when this bill was introduced in the Assembly. And I'd like you to just, keep this and know that it was the best I could do in the short time that I was given. It doesn't begin to scratch the surface of all that your dad contributed. And in closing, I want to thank all of you who have been carrying on Levon's legacy since his passing, but especially his daughter Amy, who's carrying on the tradition twice as much, actually, as what Levon did with the Rambles and now the Friday night events. This is an important part of our community. It's something that changes who we are, where we are, but it's also a constant reminder of the importance that Levon played in this community. It was a great pleasure to participate in the passage of this law, and I thank each and every one who was responsible for it. The last thing I'll say is Senator Bonasek, who was the Senate sponsor, could not make it today. I send his warmest regards and best wishes, and let me just tell you that I'm as proud today as I can be to be a member of the state legislature. And with that, we're going to ask Amy to ascend the ladder. And if there's anybody from Team Helm who wants to hold this ladder to make it secure, hold the ladder. Fix the piece.
Yeah, get the team up. Come on, Tara. Let everybody get around the ladder.
How about your skills, Kristen?
All right. Lee, you want to hold the ladder, honey, while I pull